Okay. Now, so grouping for numeric values. Okay. Okay. So this is for 1,000. So we have a for 10,000 we have a comma after 10 and then the 3 zeros, right? So that's the grouping. How do you group the numbers? And there are two options that are available for grouping. One is, of course, comma or underscore. Okay. Let's try that. So now we're going to use, okay, let's take the same string. Now let's add one more item, x3 equal to d. D is the one that has 35,000 as its value. So now we can see how the grouping takes place. Okay, so now let's come here and add x3 and then don't forget the colon. Okay. And then you can specify how it needs to be grouped. So if I say comma, right? So then you see I did not specify a width, so it just started right after the second value is printed, right after that, and then it did 35, comma 000. Okay. Of course, if you use underscore, then you will get underscore. I don't know why underscore, but comma is what is we use. Maybe in some other country somewhere they use an underscore. So let me put it back to comma, right? And if you specify a width, say width of 10, and let me put another signpost for us to see how the number is printed. Okay. So number, I did not specify an alignment, and therefore it was aligned. The default alignment for numerical values is to the right. And then we have decimal precision. After that comes decimal precision. Okay. Decimal precision is specified by a dot. Okay. The decimal precision we want. Okay. How many decimal places? 2, 3, 1, 5, whatever. And then the letter F. So let's do that here. Okay, I'm gonna take this print string and repeat it. So now let's say that this 12.2, we want 12.2 centered, okay, and 2 decimal places. Okay, so x2 is that value. So change that to that. Okay, and the width is 10, and then you do say we want 2 decimal places dot 2f. Okay, so now if you specify a decimal number of decimal places that is smaller than the decimal values, then it will automatically round the value. So for example, here instead of 2f, I say 0f, then it rounds to 12. Okay. But on the other hand, if b is, okay, suppose if b is 12.7, then see the 12.7 is rounded to 13. And then we have the percentage, and then for that you just put percentage in place of f. In decimal precision. Okay. So let's take the same print string. Okay, let's add one more. Say x4 is equal to C, and we want that C to be printed as 5%. It's 0.05 and we want it 5%. Okay, so we come back here and then say x4, okay, and then say percentage, okay, then it uses a default of, I don't know how many zeros, okay. So the 0.05 is converted into a percentage value, 5, and then it adds those zeros. Now, you want to control the decimal places, then, okay, so you do this exactly like the .nf. So it will be .n percentage. So here you put dot, say 3 percentage. And suppose we want a width also, say a width of 8. And then before the width, you can specify the alignment if you want it. Okay. So 3 here means 3 decimal places. All right, now there is one other alignment. Okay, so we had the left align, right align, and the center. Then there are a couple of more. 2 more for plus or minus sign. Okay. Use equal for left aligning minus sign and plus to include plus sign, because plus sign is normally not printed, right? If you have a negative number, a negative sign is printed in front of the number. If it is a positive number, we don't normally put a positive sign in front of it. But if you want to put a positive sign in front of it, then you will use that plus sign. Okay, so let's get this same print. So now let's get this E and F. So x5 is E and x6 is F. Okay, so now x5 and we'll be able to see this only if you give a width, okay, width which is more than the space needed for printing the number. Then the alignment should come before that. So say equal to 10 okay, and then x6 colon, again let's use plus 10. Okay. I did not include the brace there. That is the reason. Okay. So now you see when we use the equal sign, the negative sign, which will normally be, it will normally immediately precede the negative number, right? So instead it pushes the negative sign all the way to the left end of the width. So these are the formatting symbols that you should be familiar with. So to be able to print whatever that you want in whichever way you want. Okay. So now let's look at F string. Okay. Now F string is exactly same as the format type that we did, but instead the dot format part is done away with. Okay, so that part is gone. So it makes it easier for us to set up the print string. It starts with an F, and then you have the string quotation mark, okay, and then you set up your string exactly like before. But this time you don't have to have the variable name to be separated in the format section. You use the same variable names that are available in the namespace for you. So instead of having to set x1 equal to a, you use a directly. Okay? So now that part we can use here. Now instead of x1, x2 and so on, we use the variable names. Okay, and those are what? A, B, and then x3 was D, C, E and F. Okay. Okay, what is the error? Okay, so the error is because I have 2 quotation marks at the beginning instead of 1. Okay. Now you see I get the same thing here, except that now this is a string. So you see the answer, the result that's printed, you have the quotation marks around it. So it is a string that can be printed. So what you can do is to print that. You print that string then you'll have it. Okay, so this is easier to use than the dot format spec. Okay. And one more thing that you can do here is you can do computations. Okay. If it is numeric, of course. So suppose we have B here, and we want B times C, right? So B times C is printing as 1 because I have specified 0 decimal places. Okay, if I change that to say 3 decimal places, you will find 3 decimal places being printed there. Okay. So this is the additional capability in the F string method. Okay. So you should use F string only. Okay, I discussed the first one is only to know that that's the old stuff. The second one is to understand the formatting concept, and the third is what we should be using.